Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On, and 2016 has been an absolutely insane year.
Yeah, there's been some incredible moments in gaming that we've both played and experienced.
So we thought we'd take a look at some of our favourites over 2016. Let's take a look.
Quantum Break was one of the early highlights of this year, showing off some incredible special effects to show the impact of Jack Joyce's broken timeline.
But as much as we loved using time to run circles around Jack's enemies, it was a smaller storytelling moment that showed us Remedy doing what they do best. As Jack explores a warehouse where his brother built his prototype time machine, we get to see the entire design process play out in fast forward. We see William scribbling at his desk, unpacking the parts, and piecing together his huge device. I just love how packed the scene is with details. You could play the stage 10 times over and not spot all the tiny details that Remedy packed into their world. When you think about all the animation and props required to pull off a sequence like this, you remember why there is no other storyteller quite like Remedy.
Now, Titanfall 2's single-player campaign has to be one of the biggest surprises of the year. Not just because you get to stomp over enemies with your big giant Titan, but also because every single level you play gives you a brand new idea.
Our personal highlight is the mission Cause and Effect. At this point of the game, Cooper and BT visit an abandoned IMC research facility where time appears to be broken. At random moments, Cooper jumps back in time, seeing how the facility looked before something went very, very wrong. This is a cool effect by itself, but what makes this level really special is when you find a device that lets you control time jumps. With the power to jump between the past and present, you are able to run circles around enemies. If you meet a guard in the past, you can hop into the future, run behind him, hop back into the past, and take him by surprise. As the level goes on, things get more complicated, with enemies in both timelines forcing you to pick your time travel wisely. By the end of the stage, you are pulling off incredible tricks like switching timelines to move between platforms that only exist in one or the other, or pulling off impossible wall runs across two time frames. It's a mechanic that's so cool you could build an entire game out of it. Anyone for Titanfall 3?
Hitman was one of my favourite games of 2016. One of the things I really loved about it was how it kept you coming back to hunt those elusive targets.
For those of you that haven't spent the last 6 months murdering their way across the globe, the elusive targets are timed contracts that only give you one shot at success before being deleted forever. Trying to assassinate anyone in this game in only one attempt would be tricky, but it's made even harder by the game only giving you limited information on your new rival. It forces you to employ every trick you've learned to sniff out the target and devise a plan. And as the year went on, the missions only got harder. There was one where you had to identify the target from a pair of identical twins, and another where you didn't know what the target looked like, only that he had a taste for marmalade. I am sad to report that, yes, I accidentally murdered Paddington Bear. Regardless of my success rate, these were tense, brilliant missions, and I can't wait to see how they evolve in future seasons.
Now, if you've been keeping up with our list, you'll know that Red Dead appears quite a lot, and I'm sorry, I'm just really excited for the game, but you know, this bit, just try and act surprised.
Yeah, I know, it's more of a game than a specific moment, but one of my highlights of the year was getting to play Red Dead again via backwards compatibility on Xbox One. The game actually runs better on Xbox One than it did on the 360, making it the definitive version of Rockstar's Wild West masterpiece. Rediscovering it all over again was so much fun. While we all remember the famous moments like riding into Mexico and the incredible dramatic ending, it's easy to forget all the smaller details. Things like meeting the weird strangers who set you funny side missions, or digging into the Undead Nightmare DLC where the whole world is overrun with zombies. And with Red Dead Redemption 2 riding towards us in 2017, there's never been a better time to revisit it.
My next pick comes from Mirror's Edge Catalyst, a game that gave us an open world city to try out all our awesome parkour moves in.
For the entirety of the game, the City of Glass's skyline is dominated by the imposing Shard. When Faith finally gets to climb it, you know she's in for a hell of a struggle. Reaching the top means teetering across tight ropes and hitching a ride on giant fan blades with her mag rope. Some people might argue that this feels a bit simple compared to her fancy parkour powers, but I love the sense of scale and risk. It gets even more complicated when parts of the tower start to collapse, forcing you to sprint around collapsing walkways and zip to distant grapple points in a desperate bid for freedom. Personally, when the tower starts coming down, I'd probably avoid heading for the top. You've got furthest to fall, right? But Faith's braver approach makes for one of the year's most thrilling set pieces.
Now, every once in a while, you'll play a game demo that you just wish you could keep on playing. Now, sadly, this game isn't actually out yet, but it just had to make the list.
The Sea of Thieves demo was the star of both E3 and Gamescom this year. This tiny slice of the game put you on an island with 4 other strangers and left you to work out what you wanted to do. Some crews sit on the beach and jam on their instruments, but most make their way to the ship and go hunting for other crews, and it is so much fun. I just love how everything on the ship forces you to work together. The guy steering can't see past the sail, so you need a person up in the crow's nest to tell him where to go, but then you also need people guiding the sails to catch the wind and others to man the cannons. In moments of combat, there are one too many jobs for a crew of 5 to handle, and it's absolutely hilarious watching everything break down into madness. As well as that, the game is also really good looking. Just look at those waves! Like, I'd be happy just floating around for the rest of 2017, and this is only a tiny bit of the complete game. It's going to take something pretty special to impress us more next year.
So my next pick sadly wasn't available to the public, but it's definitely one of my most memorable Xbox moments of 2016.
To celebrate the arrival of Steep, Ubisoft's Ace Winter Sports Sim, I was invited to play the wingsuit part of the game whilst wearing an actual wingsuit. I was put inside a wind tunnel and given a controller and challenged to make it through the course in one piece. If you've ever wondered what I would look like whilst plummeting to my death, then A, what's wrong with you? And B, this will give you some kind of an idea. What you can't hear over the sound of the wind tunnel is my internal monologue going, oh god, I'm going to die in a game and in real life at the same time. It was traumatic, but in a fun way. Needless to say, it probably isn't the wisest way to enjoy Steep. I'm doing much better from the comfort of my own sofa, but it's certainly something I won't forget. They should make a special achievement for doing this.
Now, it's going to surprise absolutely no one that Call of Duty made it into my most memorable moments of 2016, but this is a really cool Easter egg that you have to try.
Modern Warfare Remastered doesn't just give all those classic missions a lick of paint, but gives a nice nod to the later games. In One Shot One Kill, you are asked to assassinate Imran Zakiev, having infiltrated the sniper position in the legendary All Gillied Up mission, but if you've played Modern Warfare 3, you'll remember that the later villain in the series, Vladimir Makarov, was also present at the scene. In a Modern Warfare 3 flashback scene, he watches as you snipe Zakiev's arm off. The remaster not only adds Makarov to the scene, you can see him sitting in his car, but it also allows you to kill him. Successfully puts a bullet between his eyes and you'll prevent him from setting in motion any of the events seen in Modern Warfare 2 and 3. You even get a special time paradox achievement for changing the future. It's a brilliant bit of fan service in one of the best remasters of this generation.
When you think of Final Fantasy XV, you probably think of epic landscapes and summons the size of the Empire State Building. Well, not me. I think of pot noodles.
Well, technically they are cup noodles, a popular brand of Japanese snack that forms the basis of one of the game's weirder side quests. When Gladio develops a hankering for a snack, the team decide to spice up the humble cup noodle with a rare ingredient. Based on what foodstuff you discuss with Gladio decides exactly where the quest will go next. We spoke about a hunger for meat, and so the boys find themselves hunting a massive behemoth. I've done many mad things in the name of snacking. I once ate chocolate out of a bin. But even I would draw the line at fighting this thing. It's one of the most ferocious enemies in the game, so the idea that it's just to spice up a harmless snack makes it particularly bizarre. Win the fight against this brute and you get to enjoy the snack and a piece of conversation that is some of the most brazen product placement we've ever seen in a game.
You know something? Going through all that trouble to make our own custom cup, it's made me appreciate cup noodles even more.
Perhaps we truly can't improve upon perfection.
It's totally bizarre, but that's why we love Final Fantasy XV. Even in the middle of war, there's still time for a delicious snack. I approve.
Forza Horizon 3 was not only one of the best games of the year, but it is also filled with so many memorable moments. We almost gave this to kind of driving around the outback with a warthog, but first of all, we decided to give it to the showcases.
Nothing better separates Forza Horizon from the main Forza series than the ludicrous showcase events. These are massive stunt races that act as milestones for amassing enough fans with normal races and stunts. To give you an idea of tone, the first involves racing a fellow Jeep that is suspended from a helicopter. We'd call it an unfair advantage, but as we watch the poor guy swing around trees and buildings, we feel pretty good about being on the ground. The showcases remind me a little bit of classic Top Gear segments. Do you think you could beat a train in the race to the finish line? How about trying to outpace a squadron of speedboats? Okay, so I can't quite picture Jeremy Clarkson and pals trying to jump over a locomotive in slow motion, but I'd definitely like to see them try. True to their name, the showcases show Forza Horizon 3 at its very best.
Before I start singing the praises of Inside's incredible ending, I should warn you of spoilers. If you don't want to see any, then skip forward by a minute.
Still with me? Then you're in for a treat. In the final stretch of Inside, Playdead's incredible follow-up to Limbo, our boy hero finds himself infiltrating a scientific facility. Inside, he finds what can only be described as, what the hell is that thing? And whatever the hell that thing is, absorbs the boy into its mass, allowing you to take control of its horrible fleshy body. What follows is one of the greatest video game sequences we've ever played, as the meat monster goes on a rampage through the labs. I've never seen anything as perfectly animated as this, from the terrified scientists fleeing into the background to the shattering rubble and glass. Then there's the meat monster itself, a massive oozing limbs that slurps through tiny gaps and constantly trips over its multiple pairs of legs. Players are still debating what it actually means. The moral of the story appears to be, don't get into a water tank with a meat monster. But whatever your take is, this is a fleshy nightmare that will stick with you for years to come. So, sorry about that.
Now, Gears of War 4 has so many memorable moments, like getting to fight alongside Marcus Phoenix again, but nothing quite beats the destructive chaos of the final stretch.
After a long, hard night of fighting the Swarm through dark caves and deadly wind flares, Gears 4 rewards you with an amazing toy. This giant mech suit is the ultimate power fantasy. It comes armed with an industrial staple gun that basically evaporates any enemy it touches, and if that wasn't cool enough, you can also use your laser target to order a nearby helicopter to lay down an aerial assault. It feels a bit bad to be blowing massive holes in the town of Tollen. Are we meant to be saving the world and all? But you gotta love the carnage. All of a sudden, the giant boss monsters you've been struggling against for the whole game can be blown away with a single button press. Even the arrival of a mutated Brumac, the Swarmac, can't stop you. Fire a few missiles into its glowing weak spots and you can stride up and deliver a gruesome killing blow. The only question is, with technology this good, why didn't they give us the suit from Mission 1? It would have been so much easier.
So there we have it. Let us know in the comments what your favourite moments of 2016 have been, and also if you agree or disagree with us, and also if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content.
And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button, check out another one of our list shows, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.